Okay. Hey Gabsters, how you Gabsters doing? Thank you so much for joining me on another video. I know that there is a bit of an echo in here. I'm really sorry, but I'm trying to get my eyes done and then we'll get going. But also I need my phone. So you guys, your girl is an entire 37 years old. There it is, I've said it, I am 37 years old. Oh my god. You know, I never imagined myself beyond the ages of like 30. I don't know how I got to 37, but I made it, y'all. I made it. I'm 37. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm in a good place. And life, you know, God is good, you guys. God is good. Even in the tough times, God is good. So yeah. But anyway, I just came back from Chile. I'm sorry about the last video. I know it was windy. I know it was you know, the audio wasn't that great, but I did want to put up a video because I promised you guys 2 videos every week, and yesterday was my first day back at work, like properly, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to film you guys anything else. And when I was editing it and I heard the audio, I was just like, but there was no way I could like film another one. So I went to Chile for a conference. It was Contemporary Ethnography Across Disciplines conference, and it's basically a conference on doing methodology, anthropology methodology, and it was really good. It was my first time ever in South America. I'd never been there before. I've never actually been in America, like South or North America. I'm glad that it was South America, not North America. North America is like the last on my to go to list of countries. I mean, I have specific places that I'd like to go to in America, but when it comes to places and countries or continents that I'd like to go and visit, North America is the last one. So yeah, Chile was beautiful, you guys. I didn't actually expect to love it as much as I did. You know, like when you think of Chile, you think of like blankets and llamas and mountains, and you're just like, I don't know, you know. But actually it was really lovely. I went to the capital city. It's called Santiago. It's a massive city. It's massive. And the city is surrounded by mountains. So like if you sort of like have like an idea of Chile, you always imagine mountains and like flat plains. So the city is like in between, is in one of these like flat plains, you know. It's a really beautiful city. Like, I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's very green, very clean, very like people like still water the grass, you know. Like it's one of those, like it's a big city, but it's got like a hometown, like small city, small country vibe, you know. Even though it's a massive city, it still feels very much like home, very much familiar, very much like people next door, which I absolutely loved. The food there was they eat a lot of grains. So like a lot of beans, a lot of like quinoa and wheat, and you know, it's not a place for gluten-freeness, that place. But it's like, the food is really nice. Unlike some of the food, there's one particular, I don't know if it's a grain or a seed or something that they put in that's not of my taste, but their food overall is really nice. It's very sort of like wholesome food, you know. And then also what I really liked is how they prepare food. Like generally, you know, like how Italians, when you think of Italian food, you think of like tomato sauces and basil and that kind of stuff. Chilean food is actually very much reminiscent of like traditional food, you know, when you have umsebendekai, or I've heard, you know, it's like that, like, or like of my grand's cooking, like just like onion, salt, like very, like almost no spicing, you know, like the flavor of the meat actually comes through. They do a lot of that kind of like eating, like a lot of the time when we had meat, just like boiled meat in this like very lightly spiced there's almost no spice, you know, it's almost like one spice like this and then it's like that. Anyway, so that was like the food. It was so welcoming as a city. Like, you know, you travel and they speak Spanish there. So obviously very quickly you realize that you're not in your home country and you're not in your like you're not, this is not a space for you. But I don't want to say space for you. Like, this is not your, you know that you're foreign in this place, but they don't make you feel like you're a foreigner. Like, you don't stand out, you don't feel like you're being watched, like, oh, this person, what are they doing here? Everyone's very friendly, everyone was like, just like willing to assist. Their currency is slightly different. Their currency, their money situation is a bit hard because, I mean, they go up to like, the highest note I saw was a 20,000 rand, 20,000 peso note, Chilean peso. And I mean, there was too many zeros there to start counting and things like that. So at some point I was just taking money out and doing this, and then people would take the money that they need for me to pay for whatever it was that I had taken. But yeah, like, people are trustworthy. It's quite an affordable city. Like, you don't, even though their currency is less than like South Africa's currency, you don't feel the pinch, you know. It's not like when you go to like a country with a bad currency and then you're like, everything's super expensive or things like that. Things aren't, because they still have a lot of like, I think it's because they still have a lot of like local businesses. They're not at that stage where they're importing everything, and you know, so it's still, things like lifestyle there is still quite affordable in general. They eat a lot of sugar though, like, oh my god. Like, for breakfast, they had these like custardy things, like custard, yeah, like, or panna cotta, like that sort of gelatine, like sweet stuff, or like rice pudding or oats pudding, all of it very sweet. The juices, sugar, just sugar. At the conference for the lunch, you know how sometimes at lunchtime they had juices, and then they also had water, like water jugs with cucumber and what, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, cucumber is gonna be refreshing to a sweet. They really like their sugar at that place. It was like, it was overwhelming. Like, I was just like, ooh, sugar, diabetes here. And for all the doctors out there, I know it's only diabetes, but come on, everybody says sugar diabetes. Okay. And then what else is there? Oh yes, so South American countries, a lot of the time you will, I put a lot here. I'm using one brush for everything. This is going to be a disaster, but anyway. South American countries, a lot of the time you don't flush your tissue, no? Same thing in Chile. Their sewage systems were built very long ago, and they can't actually handle tissue paper. So it clogs up the bathrooms really quickly and things like that. So when you get to the bathroom, you'll see they'll have like big bins. You just wrap up your stuff in toilet paper, throw it in the bin, wrap up your stuff. I mean, this has happened. A friend of mine told me that they had similar thing in Barcelona. I went to Barcelona, I don't remember this. But I mean, it could have been possible. I don't remember. My colleague was saying she had a similar incident in Argentina recently. So it seems like South American countries, and I think just older Europe, like older Europe has got issues. I'm not even talking about like other things. I'm talking about tissue paper. Do not flush your tissue paper. It is not for flushing. Initially you think ew, but then you sort of get used to it, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool. I tried Chilean wine, awesome. I tried this other thing called a pisco sour, awesome. Food, I've already told you, awesome. What else did I try? I didn't get to go to like other parts of Chile. I wanted to go to this place called Valparaiso, which is like a coastal town. It's like this old school coastal town. It's called like the ancient city or something like that, and with lots of like graffiti and old school architecture and like museums and things like that. I really wanted to go, but like, I'm not that organized, Jill. I'm not that organized, so I didn't end up going. What I did end up doing is I went on this hike inside Santiago to this place called San Cristobal Hill, which is a hill in Chile. It is in northern Santiago. It rises 850 meters. I hiked up this hill, by the way, you guys. I hiked a whole hike. I died going up this hill. I'm struggling up this hill, y'all. I've actually just taken a break. Look at how lovely that is. Need to get to that top. I've walked from there and another section that side, but it's a struggle. It's been about 500 meters since my last stop down there. Guys, I'm struggling. I don't want to lie. I've actually used my asthma pump since then, but I think old age, completely unfit. I've picked up weight. This bag I'm carrying is a good 2-3 kilograms heavy. It's hot, it's the worst time to go for a hike between the hours of 1 and 3 anywhere in the world. So it's like mid, sun is high, it's hot, and then the altitude here is much higher, which means the air is thinner, which means that oxygen is not going in properly. And my asthma also, having used my asthma pump, like, I'm a mess, you know. Actually, I could feel when I landed in Brazil yesterday, my chest started closing up, but I was like, no, it's fine. But today with the walk, I think I exhausted myself, and I'm just making it worse. But you know what? Giving up is not an option, Gabsters. Giving up is not an option. Also, halfway view, so it must be spectacular at the top if this is already the view we are seeing. I'll see you at the top, Gabsters. That's where we headed to. By the way, another break. I'm sitting on one of these, but we're almost there. It rises 850 meters AMSL and about 300 meters above the rest of Santiago. The peak is the second highest point in the city after Cerro Renca. I didn't go there. That hike, you guys, that hike felt like my PhD. At some point I was like, I'm giving up, I'm this and that, I can't do it. But you know, you persevere through these things, you guys. You just have to persevere because you can't give up. You can't give up on yourself. You can't give up. Like, I took it as like this whole like life lesson, and I was like, yeah, Gabby, you can't give up on yourself. If you give up now, what will happen to the PhD? I'm like, but this is, I'm climbing a hill. This has got nothing to do with my PhD. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you. I went up this hill on my birthday. So I arrived in Chile on the 19th. On the 20th was my birthday. So on the 20th, once I woke up, because I had a bit of jet lag. Once I woke up and everything, I went on this hike on this hill, which was why also I think it was just, I started making such a big deal out of it, because you know, your birthdays are times for reflection and things like that, and that's the last day you want to be giving up anything or letting go, or you know, you don't want to tell yourself that you don't want to set a precedent for later on. So it's like beginning of the year, New Year's Eve, let's set good standards to carry on the rest of the year. And then yeah, I conferenced, I presented my paper, it went very well, thank you very much. It was cool. Yeah, I think that is all I can actually say about this trip to Chile. It was lovely. I actually haven't flown internationally in a couple of years. My last international flight was in 2014. So it had been a while since your girl had been far, far, far away from home. And I like being far, far, far away from home. And I also had my first year anniversary with Bay. So things are good, you know. Things are good. Yeah. My question to you is, last question of our giveaway birthday celebration month is, where have you gone that surprised you the most? So where have you gone that surprised you the most, and what was it that surprised you when you got there? Okay, it could be within the country, could even be in the same province as you, it doesn't matter where it was, it doesn't have to be like far, far, far away. And how you dealt with the surprise, whether it was a good surprise or a bad surprise. I'm always loving to hear stories about you guys and what you guys are up to, because you know, We are in this together. Anyway, Gabsters, to all my new Gabsters, thank you so much for joining the Hey Gabster family. And to all my golden oldies, thank you so much for always being here and coming back for new videos every week. I really appreciate you guys, and bye-bye.